Hiya guys, just a few words about the Brewing and Distilling DLC that's going to be added to Fallout 76. I think it's um I think it's released on March the 12th. So what is it and what does it consist of? We get a quest which kind of kicks things off along with a new robot NPC. Um, as a result of the quest, we get a new crafting workbench for our camps, which is the brewing station, and we also get something called a fermenter. Right, so we use the brewing station to make our various drinks using recipes, and then it seems like the majority of them then need to be added to the fermenter, which we also have in our camp, and then that gets them ready for us to actually use. Not all of them need to be fermented, but it seems like a lot of them do. And also, some of them, wines and spirits, seem to become even more powerful if you leave them in the fermenter for longer. The drinks give you a buff of various kinds. There are a few examples given, but they also come with a downside as well. So obviously the buff and the downside is different depending on the drink. As well as these, there are also two daily quests that can be done. The first of which allows you to increase your repertoire of recipes, and you do that via the new NPC as well. And then the second quest, the second daily quest, to be honest, it's not entirely clear what it involves. The wording is a little bit uh, uh, impenetrable, a little bit, but it kind of almost hints that it might have something to do with the negative effects of these drinks. So whether that means that you can perhaps mitigate or reduce them somehow over time by doing these daily quests, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see because it's not entirely clear reading it. So that's kind of it. Yeah, a main a main quest, a few dailies, and a few things that we can add to the camp. Um, what do I think about it all? Well, I mean, first and foremost, I think it's good that these kinds of things are being added to the game. It always increases the richness, and I know that people enjoy, crafting and recipes and things like that. I'm not one of those people, to be honest. I kind of do the bare minimum. I grow corn, I make soup, I do the bare minimum to keep my food and water topped up, and beyond that, any of the rest of it for me is just like hard work. I'm just not interested. I know some of them have decent buffs and things, but I just don't care. But buffs for me tend to, like, so far there isn't any. There's nothing that I've encountered in the game where really any buff would make all of the difference. I mean, I know it's a cumulative thing, but for me, the benefits of even normal food and drink items and recipes, just I'd rather not have to spend the time. I kind of am the same with any of the games I play. I'm usually a little bit relaxed about seeking out these sorts of things. Um, there is kind of a problem for me as well, in that I always find it a little bit annoying when things have like a negative aspect. So say if I was playing like a role playing game, a pen and paper game, then I'd be totally down for creating a character who had negative attributes or physical or psychological or social or whatever attributes in the name of creating a good story and a compelling character and all these things. But in a game, I actually find it just a little bit of a drag, to be honest. I mean, I know it. I guess it increases another mechanism for tactical and even like strategic gameplay. But I'd kind of rather just get the buff, even if it wasn't as good of a buff. I like, do I really want to make my character weaker? I mean, obviously there is an exception. Like if the buff is totally keyed into my exact play style and will just benefit me a great deal, then obviously I would kind of go for it. And if the negative aspect, if the downside was just something that would never apply to me anyway, because it just, because it's a damage reduction to pistols and I don't use pistols kind of thing, well then yeah, okay, I could kind of see the point. But as soon as it gets into kind of juggling, well, I do this most of the time and that most of the time, then it's just too much effort. I don't really want to spend time having to think at that level about these sorts of things. But yeah, as I say, I mean, it's good that they're adding these kinds of things. I don't know how much time I would spend making these things or using them. So personally, I don't really care that much about this DLC beyond just I'm happy for it to be added to the game, but it's not something I'm particularly excited about. Which I'm not trying to put it down, but just it doesn't really give me much of a thrill. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you're all very well, and let me know what you think in the comments. Cheers. Have a good one. Bye bye.